Very easy to shift to different modes. Has a very unique exhaust sound, especially when you open up the valves. Beautiful country road. Great power. Another beautiful October morning. This is my 2023 C8. It's hypersonic gray. I've had it for about 2 months. And it's got the Z51 package. It's a 2LT with the GT2 seats. And I was just gonna go over my experience with the car to date. I have about 2,000 kilometers, roughly 1,500 miles. And I was just gonna go through some of the options that I have and some of the pros and cons that I've experienced. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but these plates are just standard plates. They're not custom plates. When I got the insurance on the car at the dealership, the insurance lady came out, she threw out 5 plates. They all started with S, C8, and then 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, and so on. And I told her, I said, wow, that's impressive how you were able to get me a plate that S for Stingray and C8. And she had no clue what I was talking about. And then I told her that this car is a Stingray C8. And she started laughing. We had the biggest laugh. And I said, wow, you know, what are the odds of that? Pretty fluky, but not sure if anyone's ever noticed that on the car. When I first got it, I didn't think I was gonna have enough hot summer days to enjoy it, but September was perfect here and we're already in the first week of October. And just every day is beautiful sun, blue skies, so I've been able to drive the Corvette quite a bit. Yeah, I really like the look from back here, you know, just that angle, you know, just all the design work they did with the roof lines and how it widens out to allow for the engine bay and also the trunk space. It's a very cool design. In terms of fuel economy, right now, it's probably not at its optimum fuel economy quite yet. But, you know, as expected, it's a sports car, it's a V8. You know, I'm not expecting great numbers in terms of fuel economy, but I think as time goes by, the engine, as it's fully broken in, I think the fuel economy will still get better. Exhaust sound, sort of as expected. In touring mode, it's fairly quiet for the most part. I do put it in Z mode, Z mode, where I open up the valves a bit, and you can hear it a bit. It's sort of as expected. It's not going to be as loud as a lot of the aftermarket options, and that's, you know, what I expected. That's not going to be for me. I'm not going to go change the exhaust system. I'm very happy just getting these blackout tips for myself, but overall the sound is quite decent. I'm really happy I went with the Vossen HF5 rims, wheels, 21 inch in the back. There's some traffic, and they're 325s 325, 25, 21s. And in the front, I have two 55s, 30 20s. So 20 inch in the front, 21 inch in the back. For the price point, I mean, they're not super cheap, but compared to some of the really high-end rims, I think they're a pretty good value. This car also has the Z51 package. You could see the Z51 logo on the calipers. I went with the red caliper options as well. The braking is pretty good, you know, sort of what I expected. I haven't tracked this car or anything like that, but you know, basically just driving it on the back roads. I have 2,000 kilometers, so what is that, about 1,500 miles maybe? But overall, the braking capacity feels pretty good, pretty responsive. The 5VM carbon fiber package, I'm a big fan. It just adds a really nice look to the car. It's really nice how the lines here just follow the same lines of the trunk, or sorry, the front. Those points, they're identical along that splitter. Just a very nice touch. The side skirts, I'm really a big fan of. They just add a little bit more width to the car. You know, it just helps out with the stance. The high wing, when I first saw this online, I was not a huge fan because I really wanted a 2-post design rather than the 4 posts. But once it shows up and you see it, it grows on you, and honestly, it doesn't. It's something I don't think about at all. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this carbon fiber fitment and the overall look of it. And it's kind of nice to have the additional carbon fiber on the seats as well. It all blends in nicely. I also have a black wrap on the roof pillars, the roof itself, and it tapers off in the back. I really like this design. I got this idea just from other C8s that I saw online, and I'm really happy with it. A lot of people seem to like it. I get compliments on it. And this also has the Expel paint protection. I basically have it on the front portion of the car, all down low, quarter panels, and basically the front end of the car. It can get fairly pricey if you're doing the whole car. I mean, here in Canada, I think the whole car would have been about $6,500, and to do the Expel on the front portion, quarter panels, basically right up to this joint right there, it was, I believe it was $2,000, and I think it's well worth it. These radiator screens I also picked up, and I'm glad I did it. I think they were about $200 Canadian, and you know, when I found out about some of the issues with you know, the radiators picking up a lot of, you know, debris and small rocks, and how quickly they could damage, so I thought this was a good option for me, you know, at a reasonable price point, but I think there's a lot of value that it adds to the car. I think this car has Chevy influence in the back, especially with the taillights. It's got that kind of Camaro vibe to it. The side, this definitely has more of a European flair. Call it what you want. possibly some Ferrari lines, McLaren, something along those lines. And as well as the front. The front is definitely, again, has some of that European influence, which looks amazing to me, obviously. I mean, the front hood definitely has some, you know, Corvette history in it. Some of the lines, you know, I'm definitely not a Corvette historian by any chance, any means, but that's sort of what I see. But overall, the designers did an amazing job with this car. From this angle, I think the car looks amazing. Allowing for a trunk space. Yeah, I think overall they've created an amazing looking car, that's for sure. The things with this car that I've noticed that is a little bit problematic is this really long door. The door swing itself, you need a lot of room. So if you're in a parking lot and there's anyone remotely close to you, it's going to be extremely challenging to get in your car without scuffing up like this area down there. Your foot will definitely scuff that up. You definitely, what I recommend is slide the seats all the way back before you get out. And it's really helpful. I mean, I could see how some of the C8 owners online that I've seen have these vertical doors. For a car like this, it really makes sense. This door is very long. Oh, hopefully the cat doesn't try to go inside. But yeah, the door is really long, and if you have a tight garage or you're up against another car, that is definitely a challenge. This car also has the GT2 seats, which I'm a big fan of. The two-tone seat package with the, I believe it's called the Adrenaline Red, and it's just a nice, everything works well. The seats themselves, I think they're holding up fairly well. You know, it's kind of a interesting leather feel, but I mean, the seats themselves are so comfy. This car is extremely comfortable to drive in. Like the seats, I didn't know what to expect, but really comfortable ride for sure. I find when you go to open this, it doesn't just spring open. Like, it's kind of like you have to hold it and then flick it open. Just kind of odd. So I'm going to inquire. I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to spring open. That's what I would think it would, you know, do, but I'm not sure if it was designed that way. In terms of the technology in the car, it's very impressive. You know, using just all the features in terms of making adjustments to the car, you know, going from track mode or, you know, sport mode. It's very easy to shift through those modes, and just being able to customize in Z mode, Z mode, my mode. It gives you a lot of options. The navigation works well. The sound system, I am very impressed. I'm kind of a nut when it comes to sound systems, and it's very impressive. I made some adjustments. I tilted some of the more of the sound slightly to the rear, and just fine-tuning it, but I'm really impressed with the sound as well. Now, when I heard people talk about how the engine compartment area gets pretty hot, you might not want to put your milk and eggs back here. Yes, I definitely agree with that. It gets extremely hot back here. The engine is not very clean. That's another thing. It's not super easy to keep it spotless, but I mean, this storage area is still valuable. I wouldn't recommend putting food back there, but even if I drive it just for a few minutes, just a short drive, it is extremely hot. This venting is really important. Yeah, So yeah, that's very accurate for sure. As you can see, I went with the red engine cover. I forget the exact color. Adrenal red, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it matches, goes with my calipers and the interior. So I try to connect all those dots. I think overall it worked out nicely. The back of the car, there is a lot of, there's some storage room back here. Don't put food, would not recommend it. Very minimal as expected inside the car, but the frunk, this space is quite valuable, and quite functional as well. It's deep. I went on a road trip with my wife, and we easily just put, it was just a one night trip, but it's very easy to just pack all your bags here or in the back of the car. And so it's really functional, as a touring car. And yeah, it's amazing to drive. Obviously, definitely gets a lot of attention wherever I go. Another thing I'll mention is you kind of really get attached to this car. Like a lot of people say, in their videos, I never get tired of looking at it. And yeah, when I open up, go into my garage, you're always excited to just see it. And you're excited to just take it out on a spin, whether it's a short ride. You really just make up excuses to just go anywhere with this car. Overall, my experience with my 2023 C8 has been amazing. Nothing's perfect, but overall, Chevy has done an amazing job with the appearance of this car. The comfort is amazing. It's so comfortable to drive. It's as comfy as any other cars that I've ever driven, pretty much. The performance is amazing, for 495 horse, how it puts the power down. It's very impressive, and this car is just breaking in. And everyone who sees it just loves the car. And I think it's an amazing accomplishment, as everyone knows, that Chevy, how Chevy has produced this car at a, reasonable price point for what you get.